This is LeetCode problem 73, set matrix zeros. Given an m times n integer matrix, if an element is 0, set its entire row and column to zeros. You must do it in place. In example 1, we have a 0 which is in the second row and also the second column, and then from there we set entire second row and second column to zeros. In order to get the optimal solution, we can starting from brute force solution. We can record all zeros positions in the matrix, and for each of these zeros, we iterate over their rows and columns to set them to 0. Time complexity will be O of m times n times m plus n. Space complexity will be O m times n. The other solution will be using hash sets. We can create 2 hash sets, one to track all rows containing a 0, and the other hash set to track all columns containing a 0. And then we do 2 passes. The first pass, we identify each cell containing a 0, add its row index to the row hash set, add its column index to column hash set. And for the second pass, we can set any cell to 0 if its row index is in the row hash set, or its column index is in the column hash set. Time complexity will be m times n. Space complexity will be O of m plus n. However, neither of them are the best solution. The optimal solution will be using first row and first column as 0 markers. Let's break them down to 6 steps. The first step will be using a flag to indicate if the first row initially contains any 0. And the second step is to use a flag to indicate if the first column initially contains any 0. Step 3, traverse submatrix starts from the second row and second column, setting zeros in first row and column to serve as markers for rows and columns contain zeros. Step 4, apply zeros based on markers, iterate through submatrix again. For each cell, check if corresponding marker in first row or first column is marked with a 0. If so, then set the element to 0. Step 5, if first row was initially marked as containing a 0, then we set all elements in first row to 0. Last step, if the first column was initially marked as containing a 0, set all elements in the first column to 0. This is the coding part. It is exactly the same as how we break them down to 6 steps. For this best solution, time complexity is O m times n, space complexity is O of 1.